Students, this question was asked in NEET 2015 from chapter 5 of class 11, that is from the chapter of works, energy and power. If vectors A is equal to cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap and B is equal to cos omega t by 2 I cap sin omega t by 2 j cap are functions of time, then the value of t at which they are orthogonal to each other is how much we have to find out among the four given options. Students, it is given that they are orthogonal to each other. That means vector A is perpendicular to vector B. So, what is the angle between A and B, student? If they are perpendicular to each other, then means if this is vector A, this is vector B, then the angle between them is 90 degree or pi by 2. Okay, student? So, in that case, the dot product of vector A and B becomes mod A into mod B and cosine of the angle theta between them. This is the value of dot product of two vector, students. We have studied a dot B is equal to AB cos theta, and this becomes mod A mod B cos theta means cos pi by 2, and cos value of cos pi by 2 we know is equal to 0, students. So these terms become 0, or the dot product of the vectors will become 0. Let us see what is the dot product of these two vectors, student. If they are orthogonal to each other, then their dot product should vanish. So student, let us find out the dot product of the two vectors. A is given by this much, B is given by this much. So students, A dot B will be equal to cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap dot cos omega t by 2 I cap plus sin omega t by 2 j cap. Okay, students. So this means this is equal to cos omega t, this I cap, and this will multiply with cos omega t by 2 and I cap dot I cap. Okay, student. And this I cap, when this will be multiplied with j cap, what is I cap dot j cap, student? We know that is mod I mod j and cosine theta. What is theta? The angle between I cap and j cap. What is I and what is I cap and what is j cap, students? We know I cap is the unit vector along x-axis. This is I cap, and this is j cap, the unit vector along the y-axis. This is j cap. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. This is the origin. Okay, student. So the angle between them is pi by 2, or this becomes 1 into 1 into 0 is equal to 0. Similarly, this I dot j term will be 0, and similarly the j dot I terms will also vanish, and there will be only two terms left, the I dot I term and the j dot j term. The other two terms will simply vanish. Okay, student. So what will be the other term? That will be sin omega t j cap. We will write it later. Sin omega t into this cos omega t by 2 and j cap dot j cap. The other two terms vanished. So what is I cap dot I cap, student? I cap dot I cap is equal to mod I cap into mod I cap into cos of the angle between them. What is the angle between I and I? That is 0. So this is 1 dot 1 dot 1 is equal to 1. Similarly, j cap dot j cap is equal to also mod j cap into cosine of 0, the angle between j and j is 0. So this is 1 dot 1 dot 1 is equal to 1. Okay, student. So this becomes cos omega t by 2 plus sin omega t. This is sin omega t. This is sin omega t by 2, the second term. sin omega t by 2 is equal to, you see, it is cos A into cos B plus sin A into sin B. That means cos A minus B, that is omega t minus omega t by 2. Or this becomes cos omega t by 2. Okay, student? Omega t minus omega t by 2 is equal to omega t by 2. And this dot product is equal to how much, student? Because A and B are orthogonal to each other, that's why this is 0. We have already discussed this is 0, and that means that is equal to cos pi by 2. So omega t by this implies omega t by 2 is equal to pi by 2, or omega t is equal to pi, or what is t? T will be equal to pi by omega. Where is it? Pi by omega in option A. So option is correct, students, for this question.